Welcome to the Jill on Money Show. It's Thursday, May 9th, and we are here trying to help you make solid financial decisions. And I have been pitching my friends over at CBS Mornings for the last few weeks about how I really wanted to start doing a big time retirement segment. So they gave me a whopping 3 minutes to talk about it yesterday. The reason why I wanted to really focus on retirement is not because you guys always ask about retirement, but there were a few different surveys that have been out recently. And I wrote about this on the website. So, I'm going to talk about retirement, but if you want to read about all the things that have been going on recently and all the surveys, do go to jillonmoney.com. When you click on the blog section, you'll see that I've got 3 different posts up there about retirement. One is called What's Your Retirement Number? The other is called Two-Tiered Retirement. And then there's another one that's called Progress on Fiduciary. And there have been so many questions and concerns about how ready are people for retirement. And again, there's the big time retirement confidence survey that comes from the Employee Benefit Research Institute that came out, and it found that, basically people are very confident about their retirement. You know what the problem is? They feel confident, but only about half of them have run the numbers, which is insanity, right? And so I think that after going through that and then also looking at a different survey that came out that really was focused, it's the Alliance for Lifetime Income. They were focusing on the fact that we've got these folks called the peak boomers. I never heard that term, but I love it. It's basically the number of people who turn 65 in a given year. And so between now and the year 2030, we have peak boomers, people turning 65 at a crazy pace of about 4 million a year. So there'll be 30 million peak boomers. And all these people, when the Alliance for Lifetime Income, which is funded by insurance companies and mutual fund companies, so they do have a horse in the race. When they crunch the numbers, it does not look like these people are prepared. I started really considering, why is it that my audience here at Jill on Money, why do you seem so prepared? What else is going on? And I'm trying to understand that. When I hear from you guys, I think it's a little bit misleading because you guys are in such, obviously you're self-selecting. You're listening to a financial podcast, so you're into this. But it might shock you to learn that more than half of the folks who are called peak boomers, half of them have assets of $250,000 or less. And that's kind of scary, And so that looks like they're people, a lot of these people who are like our countrymen and women, they're going to run through their savings. They're going to have to rely on Social Security, and too many people take Social Security early. So all this stuff started getting me really thinking about retirement. And so I pitched this piece to CBS Mornings. Let's air the segment. I'll come back on the other side, talk about a few other things that are also going on in the retirement space. Here is my segment on CBS Mornings with anchors Nate Burleson, Gail King, and Natalie Morales sitting in for Tony DeCopel.
We are talking about retirement. This year, a record number of Americans are expected to retire. Approximately 4.1 million Americans will turn 65 this year and every year until 2027. In addition, a new study reveals that a majority of Americans turning 65 in the coming years are just not financially prepared for retirement. But that's okay, because that's why we brought in CBS News business analyst Dollar Jill. How you doing?
Good morning.
All right, so let's get right to it. So for people who are close to retirement, how should they prepare?
I think it's the same for everyone, but especially if you're coming towards those retirement years, you really have to run your own numbers. We've talked before how there's no single number for your own retirement.
Right.
So you've got to understand how much you're spending now, how much you've saved. You use one of these online calculators. I also suggest that people really familiarize themselves with their Social Security benefits. We have so many different ways to claim this benefit. If you go to ssa.gov, it's a great website, and it's really helpful to know what are my choices. And then I would also say, once you have a number or you get some feedback that maybe you're not happy about, it gives you time to plan.
Yeah.
So maybe I would get a part-time job during retirement. Maybe I'll delay my retirement, or maybe I'll cut down the amount of money I think I want to spend. But only with this information can you make those choices. I don't like when people wait till their 60s and they don't have as many options.
So we should start thinking about it at what age?
I would say now, okay?
Really?
Because honestly, if however old you are, let's just say you're mid-career, you're in your 30s, your 40s, and even your 50s, these numbers are really helpful because look, you can have a lot of impact. If I'm 42 years old and I see my retirement number, I might say, hey, I've got to squirrel away a little bit more money.
Yeah.
We know that saving early is the key.
Yep.
Then if you can incrementally put a little bit more money every single year, it's great. I also want to remind people, if you're under the age of 45, you're going to live a long time. Our life expectancies, they're stretching. Maybe it's 80-ish now. It's going to 90s. You're going to live till 100 maybe. That's an awfully long time to plan for. So just understand that.
And max out maybe those 401ks.
Absolutely.
IRAs,
to the best of your ability. We've talked about this so often because people will say, I don't have enough money. What we learn is that people who have access to retirement plans, they're better savers. It's hard when you have no plan. We want to try to help you just do a little bit every single pay period.
But what about this disturbing report that says Social Security, the system trust fund, is going to run out in 2035?
Okay.
So you're putting all this money in, and by 2035, they might run out. It's
Okay,
like,
here's what to remember. This is the
for real.
Social Security Trust Fund. And because of the machinations, the math, what we know is that based on where we are today and the number of people who are retiring, the Social Security system, as it's currently created, will only be able to pay out 83% of promised benefits.
Well, that's not good, Jill.
It's not, but they're going to fix it. Because you know what? Social Security is an incredibly popular program.
What about the people that die, though? Doesn't it sort of balance out the people that don't make it who are putting all
Yes and no. It's really about the number of people working compared to the number of people who are retired. So here's what I want to say about Social Security. It's not going broke. It's going to exist. I want everybody to really familiarize yourself with 3 different ages: 62, 67, and 70.
Okay.
At age 62, you can take your Social Security benefit, but if you do, it's a permanent reduction in your benefit. 67 is full retirement age, and if you wait till age 70, you get the maximum benefit. Every year you wait between 62 and 70, it's an additional 8% a year.
Okay, so here's what I did not get to talk about. I think it was really good that I got to really hammer on the Social Security stuff. But also, we have not really talked about the fact that there is a new rule being proposed by the Biden administration about advice givers in the retirement space. So, you know, we talk about fiduciary and all the time here, but now the Department of Labor intends to apply the fiduciary standard to anyone who gets paid to give investment advice on retirement plan assets. That's huge. And it's getting pushback already from the industry. I think it would be a fantastic thing. It is going to probably have to go through a court challenge. And if you want to read more on the progress on fiduciary, again, go to the website, jillonmoney.com. And while you're there, check out all of the different content that lives there. I think you'll like it because it's really based on the kind of stuff that you guys do ask us about. So anyway, that's it. That is the program. Thank you so much for listening. You can subscribe to us on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your favorite podcast. Please leave us a rating and review wherever you listen. And do try to do something nice for someone else today because that person needs it. And I know that you guys want to make someone feel good. It's so nice to do that. It does really make your heart expand a bit. Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you tomorrow.